you are not obliged to play by the rules of this game.
The way that you perceive reality to be is not necessarily how it truly is.
There is an invisible world that influences the physical world, and I will submit to you that the physical world in which we live, the things that we see, is very minute, little.
Every one of us is living according to a set of assumptions about how reality works. Most of us never stop to ask whether those assumptions are actually true. In this conversation, we challenge some of the most fundamental beliefs we hold about ourselves, the world, and what is possible. Not to convince you of a new worldview, but to invite you to ask a deeper question. What if the rules you've been living by aren't the rules that actually govern reality? Because if your understanding of the world changes, the way you live in it may change as well.
All right, today we're starting a set of videos, or a series of sorts, that are aimed at discussing how the world really works. That is a lofty claim, and even as I say it, I'm sure that some of you may wonder, who are we to even tackle such a discussion? What do we even know about the world? Do we know enough? We appear to be too young. We don't have a gray beard to impart knowledge on you. How do we even get this far? Well, over the years, we have sat on the lap of many teachers. That's a weird expression, but we've learned from many teachers.
I listen on anybody's lap.
We have, in the form of seminars, in the form of books, in the form of conversations with a variety of people, we've come to learn a few things. And here we're going to share them with you, discuss with you what parts of this philosophy we've come to experiment with and really know and vouch for, because they've proved to be true in our lives and have yielded fruit, and which ones we're still debating with. Because just like you, again, we'll keep reminding you of this, we are fellow students alongside you as we are getting more and more knowledgeable about life, building a life that is fulfilled and worthwhile, that we can live and contribute, and actually wake up every single morning and be excited to face the day that is ahead. So, how does the world really works? Imagine that you can attain that information. And how does your life even look? Why is it worthwhile for you to sit down here and try to figure out how the world works? Far too many people accept that there is this thing called fate, that what must happen will happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, that you dealt cards. I like this expression that, these are the cards that I was dealt, and life is what it is. I can't really do anything about it. What do you have to say to that? And why would it be important for anybody to sit down with us right now and give us their attention, their most valuable resource, and learn alongside us? How does their life change if they really come to change their view about the world? That, you know what, this right here, maybe I don't know something. Maybe there are rules that I don't know that I'm not aware of, and this is worthwhile listening to. Why would you say that this is worthwhile for somebody to sit down and listen to?
Well, the topic itself is challenging. The topic of the
Yes.
conversation is, how does the world work?
Yes.
Who are you to tell me how does the world work? What is your experience?
Yes.
Are you even part of my world?
Yes.
So all those questions came up as I was asked that question myself the first time.
Yes.
So the reason why is, I would say, if you're watching this and you're wondering, why should I care how does the world work? And strange people telling me about how does the world work, I would say, is because the world works in a particular way, and you live in that world, and the way it works affects you.
Yes.
It is your benefit to hear us out, or yourself out, or anybody out when it comes to the explaining of how this world works. Because if there are things that are fundamental that you do not know, you might be leaving yourself short, or even harming yourself by forcing procedures or violating rules of a world you do not understand. So, for that reason, some of you have never even wondered, how does the world work?
Yeah.
For some reason, maybe that is the thing to wonder today. Maybe you will not get to our conclusion, but maybe you should wonder, how does the world work? What do I believe is the function of the world, how the world functions, and how does it affect me? It's something that is worth looking at.
Indeed.
And that's why we are, dipping our toe in this quite weird and complex subject.
Continuing to learn as well. I love the analogy of being a driver. So this is how the analogy goes, and it makes a lot of sense about the world and how it works, and does it even work in a way that we have any control over whatsoever. The analogy goes like this. Imagine you're 18, 16 is the age that kids get to drive here in America. You're 16 years old and they give you a car. Number one, you don't know how this car works, right? But you're left to yourself, to your own devices, because you haven't learned from anybody. And this will make sense in a moment. All of a sudden, a lot of your effort goes into how to figure out how to make the car work mechanically, so the mechanics of it. Here's a steering wheel, here's a gear shifter, here's this, here's that. Let's say it takes you a couple years, and then you figure out you know how to drive. But at this time, you're still within a controlled environment on your farm somewhere, on a big farm somewhere in Utah.
Yeah.
And then you learn how the car works. Now all of a sudden, it's time for you to go out and interact with the world. You get out, you realize that, whoa, there are the cars out there. And every couple of seconds, you're on the verge of death because you don't know what you're doing. You've never learned the rules of the road. You've never learned how people are expected to behave. You've never learned there are police officers, circulating throughout the city to guarantee or to try to guarantee peace and order in the city. But you don't know any of these things. What we're talking about today is equivalent to you learning how your car works and also having the rules of the road in your back pocket. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll never get into an accident. It doesn't mean that you'll never have car breakdowns or anything like that. It's not a guarantee of a smooth ride because that does not exist. As we've discussed before, life is uncertain. But at the very least, you know how to engage with the world. You know how to navigate its complexities. How to also accept the fact that, you know what, I have other people around me who are also navigating life that I cannot control. Their behavior is out of my control. So this is that important. It is that important. Coming into these ideas was challenging for me in the beginning, but I've come to, again, experiment with a few of them. There are a few of these notions that we're going to discuss that I can vouch for. I can stand on 2 feet and be like, you know what, this one right here, there is no denying this.
Yes.
Some other stuff is a little bit nebulous, a little bit spooky or out there, but
hard to grasp.
we're not selling you anything. We're not forcing our worldview on you at all. So we encourage you to try these ideas alongside us. It costs you nothing. Experiment with them. Experiment with gratitude. Experiment with all these things that we've talked about before, and see for yourself what changes.
Yes.
Now, back to the topic at hand. How does the world work?
Yes, Ben. How does it work?
We shall start with two basic ideas, two fundamental ideas in the way that we were taught these concepts that I think are very useful as well to share with you guys. And we'll keep coming back to these two axioms of sorts. Number one, the outer world is influenced by the inner world. That is number one. What does that even mean? We'll circle back around to that here in a moment. The first idea is the outer world is influenced by your inner world. So inner world is primary, outer world is secondary. Number two, reality as we know it is subject to influence. So what do I mean by these two things? The first one, outer world follows inner world. It simply means that the outer world, the things that you see, the things that you can touch, the trees, the cars, the bikes, they have in origin, they come from things that you cannot see. Things that are hidden, your conscience. As we'll get to that at some point, your spirit, your soul, all these things. We'll get to these concepts in this video and the next ones as well. So that's the first one. At this point, many people already are squirming a little bit because it sounds a bit out there.
Yes.
How can you even make that first point to somebody to give them something that they know in life that you can match with this idea so that it makes a little bit more sense to them?
All right.
The outer world follows the inner world. How do you even know that? How is that even true?
So, there's a subset of people for whom my observation will be natural. I'm a believer, I'm a Christian.
Yes.
And I this understanding that the world is spiritual. This is the angle that helped me understand it.
Yeah.
I knew that the world is spiritual. I know the spiritual world is much more complex.
Yes.
And I knew that through prayer, we somehow bring things from the spiritual world to the physical world.
Yes.
That's what I knew. Through a process, we bring things from the spiritual world to the physical world. So as I was exposed to these ideas, I was shown that the scientists of today, much later in their research and development, are catching up to spiritual truths that many of us in all sorts of spiritual pursuit have experienced. It's not just the Christian. The Hindus, the Buddhists, a lot of these people believe this. They believe that from a place that is immaterial comes all the things that we manipulate that is material. So this is the challenge. If you're a believer, this should be easy for you to believe, because you know that you can ask for healing, for example, from a disease or for a problem from a place that is immaterial, and then through a process bring it to the material place.
Yes.
So what this is telling us is that actually that truth is not just reserved for believers of spirituality. That truth is evident for everybody. No matter who you are, we live in a world where the physical is influenced by the invisible or the metaphysical. And the scientists are observing this in many ways in the world of quantum physics. And I do not want to go into the science of the physics because I'm not a physicist.
Yes.
But I do understand a bit of the terms. So this was an observation that was done in understanding the model of the world outside what is Newtonian, what they taught us about physics, what we can touch, and they looked deeper into the reality in which we live. And they decided that, oh, in reality, when you look deeper, this is a random thing, a very difficult thing that I struggle to understand, is that there is nothing there. It's mostly energy, there is space.
We shall get to that in a moment.
So, in reality, there is an invisible world that influences the physical world. And I will submit to you that the physical world in which we live, the things we touch, we see, is very minute, little, and limited compared to this vastness of invisible world.
Yes. I think I may even try to give an example that is even more attainable to people. Because
ahead.
you're right. So far, we're still talking a little bit as we're trying to make this concrete and tangible for you, which is difficult to do. So bear with us. But at any given time in your life, when you intended to do something, when you had any goal that you wanted to pursue, even something as simple as, you know what, next week I'm going to go on a float trip with my friends somewhere in Mississippi. That fact, that event, it had to be pictured in your mind first. It had to be seen from an invisible world before all of a sudden it materialized. And then now here you are floating down the river. That is also one form of it.
Yes.
Many of these truths, many of these metaphysical things are just overly mystified. They're too mysterious for no
Yes.
reason.
Yes.
And yet, we live them every single day of our lives. So, also, this one I didn't know. The Bible says this like black on white, basically. I believe it is Hebrews 11, somewhere in there, where Paul says that we believe, by faith we believe that everything that is seen comes from that which is unseen. So as you said, us as believers, we have this on the book that we trust the most, on the Bible. So this
Ancient wisdom.
yes, this one is a fact, and also, as Christian said, it's not exclusive to believers or even unbelievers. Across all forms of religious beliefs and all that such spirituality, you will see this notion come to pass because it is really evident if you just are willing to let go of your, how can I put it? If you just be willing to let go of your preconceived notions that you've held on to for so long,
Yes.
that all that there is just this bike, this chair, this job, and it goes a lot deeper than that. But again, I don't
Yes.
want you to believe me. I want you to follow alongside us and also experiment with these things for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I push this further?
Yes.
I'm going to try to push this further because the challenge here is to help you, the viewer, understand what I now understand to be true.
Yes.
This weird concept that everything that exists in the physical is first fully formed in the world that is not physical.
Yes.
So, and I would tell you that this is factual and you do it every day. There is nothing you've ever created that did not begin in the picture of your mind. Even the home we create, we have to create go to CAD and create the images of it in an invisible
architects,
world.
yeah.
And then we submit it to a process. Or processes happen to bring it in the physical. So, and this is variable for everything you do. When you decide that you're gonna buy a gift for your wife, for your anniversary, you go in your mind, you see that gift, you even imagine how she will feel. You live this entire reality in your mind first. And guess what? It is perfect in your mind. Now you go upon the endeavor to try to bring that reality in your mind as close as possible to the physical.
Yes.
And sometimes things go wrong. It doesn't happen perfectly, but it is factual that everything that we create in the physical world comes from an invisible world. The challenge comes, man, when you start challenging the fact that everything like trees and physical that we observe also comes from that invisible world. That one is starting becoming very challenging. But at least at the beginning, we can agree with me that there is nothing you've decided to do. No trip, no conscious decision you've made happen in the physical world without first thinking about it in this invisible plane. You know, this invisible plane that some scientists would call the quantum field.
Wait, hold on. Would you say that it's fair that
Yes.
those things that you cannot account for,
Yeah.
I did not, well, there are many models of the world. You know, watch
Yeah.
our previous video to understand that there are some models of the world whereby I somehow have created this tree, I've created Christian that I'm talking to. There is different kinds of models of
Yes.
the world. But would you agree with me, or how does this idea land in your ears,
Yeah.
that aside from the things that you can clearly credit to yourself, for example, I decided that I was going to go grocery shopping, I went grocery shopping. I decided that I wanted a car, I wanted, but as you mentioned, the trees, I have nothing to do with that tree. To me, this is my thought at this point of my progress.
Yeah.
The things that I cannot account for, as far as being the actor who made them happen, I am interacting with the intentions of somebody else. This
Yes.
tree was planted by somebody else. This okay, let's not go too deep behind this. But
This could be a very
This-
complicated discussion.
yes, this goes to just say that every single thing that you see first began in the invisible world.
Or
And one aspect of the invisible world is the mind of somebody, the ideas world. Even the emotions world is an invisible world as well, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But everything that you see traces back to something that is immaterial.
Yes. Absolutely. And when you talk about the emotional world being invisible, that shows the scope of these things, because even emotion creates. As a matter of fact, to make things happen, you need to tap into multiple sort of invisible world in a way, because you need to have the idea, you need to have the emotion that goes with it, the belief to make it happen, and that's how you bring it into the physical. So now, why are we telling you this? Why is this important in your life right now if you're listening to this? And if you're more of a science person, go look into the quantum field and what people think about it.
Yes.
You know, so that will help you, because this is being observed by scientists. Obviously, in what we call the fringe side of science, but it's being observed. Why is this important to you? Why would this be useful to you? The reason is, if you do not consider this, and that we are correct, that everything that happens, everything that is valuable truly is created from the invisible world, it means you do not know how to make things happen in your life. So that will make you a victim of other people's intentions. Sometimes other people's intentions align with yours, and then good things happen to you, or what you want happened. But most times, you are floating in a world in which you are fighting for change to happen while not knowing how to make it happen. So it is critical that you understand how things happen in our physical world. Understanding that it starts from a world that is not physical is critical knowledge to have. And now, how to apply that knowledge,
Yes.
that is something else.
Yes.
You know, but at least now we can tell you with confidence, I know now that it's likely true.
Yes, and that is a perfect segue to the second point. As I said, so the first point is the outer world comes from the seen world comes from the unseen world, right? And number two, you can do something about it. And that is a second idea that if we don't agree on these two, we're not
We're in
going to
tough
agree
waters.
going forward, that you can do something about your experiences in reality. I don't like the term that you can control reality, because you cannot, or in my model of the world, you cannot. But you can influence it in various ways, to give yourself, to allow yourself to live a certain kind of reality as opposed to another, to not be a victim of somebody else's intentions or reality as they're creating it. One way or another, you cannot just choose to go hide somewhere on the top of Mount Everest and not be either influenced by your own creations of reality or by other people's. So this is really worthwhile for you to stick around and to learn with us as we continue to go forward. All right, so that being mentioned, I think it's important to now switch our gears to what we believe the world is made up of. You know, being this one, learning about this really threw me for a loop. That was not a very comfortable place to be for me.
No, it was not for anybody.
You go to school and you sit on the school benches and you strive to be a good student and an A+ student. They teach you that the world is made up of, obviously, you know, of all the physical forces, electromagnetism and this, that, and the other, atoms, molecules, and protons and electrons and all these particles. And you spend a lot of resources, time, money, to further your understanding behind those, only to be challenged later on that reality, though it may be useful and true, because we can fly on big metal tubes. So that means that we know something that is useful,
Yes.
But it is far, far, far from being the full truth. I really thought in my heart of hearts that if you were to take a camera, you zoom into anything, let's say into Christian, you keep zooming, you're gonna see molecules at some point, and then electrons, and then you get to the smallest tiny ball in there.
Yeah,
Tiny little
you can observe
particles.
it spinning.
Yes.
And everything spinning around it. Lies. It's funny.
That is so far from the truth. At
Strange.
least, even in my classrooms in college, at least I came to understand in physics that an atom with its electrons and in subatomic orbitals and all these things is mostly empty space. My teacher told me that.
Yes.
I remember that day in class. I'm like, wait, hold on, what? 99.9. I don't know how many nines there are, but 99.99999% empty space.
Yes.
So, from the nucleus to the electrons, the space is so vast that it's practically empty. There is nothing.
It's important to understand what does that mean.
Yes.
Because that was the important thing to dig in. What does it mean, empty space?
And then I go to a few years go by.
Yeah.
I have the pleasure of watching a podcast interview with Deepak Chopra, a treasure. May he live as long as possible. Mm-hmm. And then he even furthers that understanding for me. Mm-hmm. That really, really messed me up a little bit.
Yeah.
He said, okay, of all that there is, as far as we know, as human beings, chances are we don't even know. But with the best level of science that we have, of all that there is out there, about 70% of all that there is this mysterious entity that we call dark energy that we know nothing about. But clearly it's responsible for the fact that apparently the space between galaxies is increasing faster than the speed of light as we speak right now.
So lights cannot.
So it's going so fast, the galaxies are spreading, and that is primarily credited to this dark energy that we don't know what it is. That's 70%. There's this 30% that remains. Of that 30%, 27% of that 30% is also another mysterious entity called dark matter.
It's funny.
That we don't understand very well. Mm-hmm. So how much is left? Here we have now 3% that's left that is actually atomic. But of that 3%, 99.999%
It's empty space.
is, what do you call it? Radioactive background, interstellar dust. Things that we cannot see with our eyes. We cannot see them. We can interact with it. It's just there. So, all these billions and trillions of galaxies, of planets, it's 0.01% of the things that we can see with our eyes and interact with. 0.01%. Of which, now, it's in that 0.01% that 99.99% is empty space.
That's funny.
So basically, in the words of Deepak Chopra, what is the universe made of?
Nothing.
We don't know. As far as we know, nothing.
Yes. Basically, so this term that we are energy is absolutely critical to understand. And this is troubling for any person, even trying to understand. You think that you understand how the world works, and then you start realizing that
There's nothing out there.
there's nothing there. Really, there is really nothing. And it's very challenging to wrap it around your head. And I remember an analogy that was given by Peter Sage in his class. He was explaining that if you move a television with HD into the 1800 or the 1600, 1500s,
Yes.
and we show people a movie, from their perspective, they'll think that there is really small people in there, a small world that they can go and touch. And then when they will approach it, they will say, wait, this is glass.
Yes.
And then when they go deeper, they realize, oh wait, this is some sort of light. They go deeper, these are pixels. And you go deeper, you realize, oh, wait, this is not real.
I
And
believe they've run that experiment with indigenous people.
but I don't know, but that would be
They show them a TV,
Yes.
and then they go behind the TV.
They're looking for where is this situation.
But please continue.
So, but the key is that same imagery can be seen with us as human beings. When you look at yourself, you see your skin. But then let's zoom in. Okay, I see skin cells. What is inside? At the end of the day, you realize the basic things that makes you are immaterial. You know.
Yes. This brings me, I didn't even get to the full thing of what I was saying about Deepak. You are right. We are just like very, very eerily similar to the videos that you see on your phone, the pictures that you see anywhere. That if you keep zooming even within us, you'll encounter the molecules, the electrons, and all the subatomic particles until you get to the very smallest things that we can comprehend. And it turns out that those very smallest things, they're just mathematical concepts. They're nothing. They only make sense in mathematical equations. Isn't that?
The immaterial.
They're immaterial.
So we are made up of really of the forces that pull things together. I don't know. We're made up of nothing.
We are made up of absolutely nothing, and this is critical.
And this is
critical
challenging to
in making
even
that. Yes,
observe.
It throws somebody's worldview off because we're so caught up in this thing that we call life and the bills. You're right. Somebody may ask, you know what? All these things are great, nice and dandy, but I still have to go pay my bills, which is great. But just imagine that you can get to a point where you create a life for yourself because all this is fake anyway. It's math. What?
It took me a while to get there, to be honest. What do you mean it's fake? I'm standing in it. I struggle with that one.
Because all of this is really a simulation. We're getting to the simulation hypothesis here.
Oh, Nzambe.
It just, to me, after I got over the initial discomfort, it brings a lot of peace that, whoa, I really do live in a place of infinite possibilities because all of it is fake anyway. Now, how do I acquire the tools and the skills to start to manipulate those possibilities so that they serve me in a way that is useful? That is the crux of this. That is what we are so hard at working to share with you guys what we've learned, and also because what we're doing really is just initiating a conversation. At some point, you guys will also be able to chime in and give us more light more information that we don't have.
Yes.
And further this understanding as well.
Let me bring this back to its practicality.
Yes.
You know, there is a reason we are discussing this very abstract concept. It's because we want to challenge what you believe to be real. We want to challenge what you believe are the rules by which the world works. Because if you do not do that, you are functioning under false rules and it's causing you nothing but pain. So the point of bringing these frictional ideas is for you to get to a place where you're asking a question, okay, how does the world work then? Because once you're in the place to ask that question, then you can now explore things that will blow your mind, that will explain to you how is it that some people seem to achieve a lot with little effort. How is it that people who have seem to the rules are made for them to get more? And then in today's society, the young generation are fighting. We are fighting a fight against capitalism. We want more socialism. Well, little do you know, people are playing in rules. They're playing on rules that you're not even engaging in. You know, no matter what you do, those people are playing under rules where they will just continue to call to reality things that you cannot call to reality with less effort than you. And you will be frustrated trying to build a life and trying to rearrange the Legos. I don't know if you guys can talk about this Lego analogy. But that is the point. That we're talking about this. We're trying to move the ground on which you shake so you can ask that question. If the world is not what it is, then what is the world and what are the rules so I may benefit from them?
Indeed. And this conversation is just a teaser. This is just the beginning of a series as we talk more about this over the next weeks and months to come. But I want to tackle one more topic before we leave you and for you to come back in the next episode to watch further. And this is the video game analogy. This is the simulation hypothesis. We'll stop there after this one. It's just unbelievable how real life looks almost identical to a video game. What we know to be real life, the thing that we interact with, this life that stresses us out so much, is very, very similar to video games. And it made me chuckle to me when I when I went back around my notes and to study this, as above, so below. But we'll get there. We'll get there at some point. A game, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know too many games, but one that I've played before is GTA, Grand Theft Auto. Right, you have this character that has a particular mission. They're walking through the confines of the game, and what you notice first about a video game when you compare it to life as we know it to be, within a video game, you have very strict rules that you cannot violate. The character in the movie, in the video game, can go up, down, forward, backwards, but he cannot, for example, or on most games, enter into a different universe, a different reality that is outside of the video game. The character cannot jump out of the screen and sit next to you. You cannot talk to the character. The character is living an experience of existence that is completely separate from you. He cannot possibly comprehend what you are doing on your side. They're in a separate realm altogether.
A video game just came to mind right now, but yes, my little sister Sue comes to my office and she plays this game called Sims.
Yeah.
You know, and this game basically is literally living life. You create characters, you make them marry, you make them have kids, you make them do certain things. In this game, people can have jobs that can pay them.
Yes.
Or if you're a broke person, there's some cheat code you can use outside of the video game to create magical income for them.
Yes. Yes.
So you would think that our real life is different, but it is not that different. Just very much like Sims, we are characters living in this world that is constrained by rules.
Yes.
The rules of our world say that to have a fair, normal income, where you take care of your family without violating, without being punished by society, is you have to do something productive. You have to go work somewhere, for example, and you have to put in your time, get your mind. These are the rules of the game. A lot of people do follow those rules, and if you follow those rules well, you are remunerated within the rules of the game.
Yes.
Right?
You're rewarded, yeah.
So yeah, it's like there are people that study more complicated things because they do complicated, they produce, they solve difficult problems for other people. For that, they are paid more than others. These are the rules of the game, right? And this is how you live your life. Yet, every once in a while, you'll find some strange character who seems to completely violate the rule of this game. Now, for example, they figured out that, okay, let's say, let's use a real life example. I'm one of these young kid who will be playing video games in his room and recording himself. All of a sudden, he's making more money than anybody who's working hard.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with degrees.
Nothing to do with degrees. Nothing to do with the rules that we follow. And now, when that first person appears, is that even possible? It's created a new possibility in this realm. And now people try to follow what he did to do so. Some people succeed, some people don't. What makes a difference? There are people, the pioneers. What do they come from? The pioneers' ways to violate rules of our current game that we play as human beings. What is the understanding they have, and what offers them that possibility is the crux of the discussion here.
Indeed.
Do you want to be the kind of person who follows the rules of the game, or do you want to be the person with
the cheat codes?
The cheat codes. And remember, there is another step further here. If you're the person with the cheat codes, you've understood something very important. You've understood that you're not the character that you're seeing on the screen. You're outside of the screen. Everybody else who is in that screen playing the rules of the game have yet to understand that they live outside of the screen, so they cannot apply anything. So these are the words of the world that we're trying to change here. They are difficult concepts. We are inviting you to see that You are not this character, this body
Yes.
inside of the game. No.
This is your avatar.
This is your avatar.
Yes, this
What you
body.
truly are is somebody outside of the screen. And since you're outside of the screen, you are not obliged to play by the rules of this game. You can use some cheat codes and fly. You can use some cheat code and have babies when you're not supposed to. Or you can use some cheat code to break rules of this world in which we live in catastrophic
Legally.
ways. Legally.
Yes.
Legally. So that is the idea. So if you think that the world works like a character and I have to follow these set rules, and you're already missing something. This is part of the way the reality is that you're missing. And that is the challenge we're bringing to you. You need to open your eyes to the fact that you are not your body, you are not this character. You live outside of the character. Now you need to open your eyes and realize, oh, that's just my avatar. I can in fact even change avatars. And spirituality takes you into there when people believe in reincarnation anyway. But let me go and not touch that. But I can do anything with this avatar. As a matter of fact, the painful thing that happens to this avatar don't happen to me. The things that make this avatar sad don't have to make me sad. It touches so many aspects of your life, just separating yourself from this. Understanding that you are not this body.
You're not the meat suit.
You are not the meat suit, exactly. You're not stuck in this screen. You're outside. It's just a matter of you opening your eyes, realizing it, and then asking the important question, where are the cheat codes and how do I use them?
Yes.
And
yes.
That's what we are attempting to do.
Yes. And trust me, I understand. What we're saying is very difficult. It's very challenging. My sweet, my own beloved wife, as I tried to even swim in these waters a little bit, you dip our toes. She summarily dismissed me. She said, I don't want any of this. I do not care. I don't think it changes my life. I'm like, but it does. Like, you know what? If you understand it, I'll just follow you. I'll just reap the benefits of your understanding. I'm like, fair enough. But let's circle back, take a few steps back again. The reason why we're talking about this is to make the point that the way that you perceive reality to be is not necessarily how it truly is. You're missing out on a lot of potentially beneficial information that could impact your life in ways that you cannot even imagine. Because it simply is true that what you see right now is not permanent, it's not real in the way that you perceive real to be. And just like a video game, in fact, almost identically to a video game, all the aspects of life can be mirrored in it too. Just like a video game, for example, I'm in this scene right now. At this park, I'm talking to Christian. I have no understanding of what is happening in other scenes. I don't know what is happening at my house right now. I don't know what is happening at my school or in my city in Kinshasa. See, it's very much just like a video game. I have to move scenes and go and interact with whatever it is in front of me.
Yes.
I cannot be in two places at once. That is part of the restrictions of this reality, of the game that we're in right now. But in my mind, which is where who I really am is, we'll get to that. Just allow me this comments, my people, don't get lost. In my mind, I can be in a million places at once.
You can be anywhere you want to be.
And if this meets to this avatar that I am, if anybody, you lose an arm, you lose a leg, you don't have a sense of I'm less than who I am, because you are not your body.
Yes.
Your body is simply the character that you inhabit or that you control in this environment of life to navigate this reality. A reality, a game that ends at some point. It takes what we call 80 years for some, 90 years for others, 40 years for some, and then you go into another reality that I shall not even attempt to touch.
This is tough.
This was staggering to realize that I'm like a game on the computer. Life is like a game on the computer. It's just there, it's just one of the several things on that computer. The computer itself, the game has no way of understanding what the computer is. The computer is far superior, far more capable than the game itself because the game was created on it. And reality is the computer in this analogy. And our life, this version of life, is just a game. And we are characters in the game. And who's controlling the character, who's holding the controller, it is who I actually truly am.
Yes.
And, spoiler alert, that is consciousness. But we shall get there in the next episode.
Yes. And because the quest here, it will honestly just to trouble you in a way, for you to ask some questions. Imagine the consequences of not having this in mind. Imagine playing a video game, a multiplayer video game, in which characters are to eliminate each other. And you are not aware that you have the ability to process the move of your character from the outside. So the game will start and you'll be that character that just stand there. The people that know that they can move the character, do whatever they want with the character, will eat you alive. They will eat you alive. So if this is true in a way, it's like a shaking you awake. Take your controller, start controlling the avatar.
I believe this is a good point to end.
Indeed. This is a very
Lord,
abstract conversation. But it's the nature of conversation we're going to be having. Well, my people, this is the end of the episode. This one was abstract and uncomfortable. I can't believe it's still uncomfortable after all these years. And even with more understanding, but it's a difficult thing to make somebody else understand. You can make anybody understand anything, but it's a different thing to share. And what we talked about was really challenging you to understand that reality is not what you think it is. We need to question. It's the game of questioning definition. You need to change the definition of the word reality. You need to change the definition of the word you or I am. And that is challenging. So and that's what you're calling you to. That was the point today. And we shall see where this goes in the subsequent episodes as we go further. But this is the end of the episode. We had fun with you guys and sharing this concept with you. We did not do the perfect job because it's difficult and we are not perfect people or geniuses at this job. So obviously, if you didn't understand and you're frustrated and in friction, please just take this as a starting place for you to do your own research. Forgive us. Leave your comment, say like, subscribe because we need it. We need to grow and to give you a better product. This was B.E.F, Brothers Enjoying Endless Flavor. Until we see you again, we'll bid you goodbye.